I received this 8-day Waltham clock today to do an inspection on. It's a type I-55 from the U.S. Army Signal Corps. It would have been installed in a piece of military equipment when new. Tool mark damage on the bezel where someone has attempted to pry it off. Here you can see wear marks from where it was mounted in its mount. The bezel and case are nickel-plated brass that has been painted black. Black was used on military vehicles to get away from the reflection of the nickel. More tool mark damage on the bezel. Winding and setting lever. The winding and setting isn't functioning right now. Tooling marks from when the casting was finished on a lathe. The case is a cast part. The back lid has tool mark damage. Looks like someone tried to pry it open. This screw is a stop for when it was mounted in its mount. This is a spring-loaded ball bearing and is part of the quick release system of the mount. This raised area in the casting is where the seam was in the sand casting pattern that was used. The spring-loaded ball bearing is missing from this hole. More tool mark damage on the back lid. This lowered area in the casting is from a high spot in the sand casting pattern that was used. Tool mark damage is deep in areas. This looks like maybe wood or cardboard chips. More tool mark damage. Glass is intact, but chipped and scratched. The seconds hand is missing. I don't see any pivot for the second hands to fit up to. Oh, the pivot is broke. Dial is in fair shape. Some of the numbers have a few chips on them. Hands. These two indentations are for a case wrench. This is the style of case wrench used on these backs. This one is adjustable for different sizes. A few numbers from a past repair person. Some scratches where something was loose inside at one time. This damage could be worked down to match the surrounding metal. These nicks will need to be filled with a filler material to fix. The movement has one huge fingerprint right in the middle of the back plate. It's a standard Waltham 8-day movement with 2 mainsprings. Missing a case screw here. The other 2 are intact. Oh, it's missing 2 of the rear plate screws. I have 2 spare Waltham plate screws. I'll place in here temporarily while disassembling. Last thing we want is for the mainsprings to let loose and damage gears. Tool mark damage here. Looks like someone had some pliers in here and were prying up on it. The rear plate is bent up here. A lot of movement in this winding stem. Balance staff is broken. I'll get this balance off and take a look. Here's the end of the staff that is broke. Roller jewel is broken. Balance jewel is also broken. Get the dial off. Something has been rubbing on the back of the dial here. It matches up to this screw. Oh, this screw is loose and sticking up high. Our wheel seems to be seized on the cannon pinion. Someone has put oil on it, and the oil has all gummed up. These should never be oiled. The 4th wheel bush setting is pushed out. Wonder if someone dropped it with the front bezel off and it took a direct hit on the 2nd's hand. Oh, the 3rd wheel is cattywonkers. Setting train turns now that the hour wheel is off. I was going to let the power down on the mainsprings, but there's no power on them. Just as I thought, someone pulled the rear plate off without letting the power down from the mainsprings. 2nd wheel gear teeth are all rolled over. 3rd wheel pivot is broken, and gear teeth have all been rolled over. Intermediate gear teeth are rolled over as well. It must have been under full power when the plate was removed. This setting lever spring is bent out of shape badly. This setting screw is installed crooked. It's been cross-threaded. Tough to see, but it's not seated flush with the setting lever. The 4th wheel is stuck in here sideways as well. This mainspring barrel is a replacement from a gold gilt model. It should be nickel-plated. Fourth wheel front pivot is completely broke off. Here's the section the second hand used to fit up to. The skip wheel appears okay. Pallet fork jewels and pivots look okay. The oil has turned to a gummy grease. Well, I'll get these results to the owners and see how they want to move forward from here.